Welcome to Movies with MacLean. I'm Andrew MacLean, and this is the weekly podcast where we talk all things movies, including the latest in movie news. With me today is Matt Vorberker. Matt, how are you?
I'm doing really good. How about you?
I'm doing great. Today is our Wonder Woman review. I'm very excited to finally be able to talk about this movie.
Yeah.
I guess it's only been 6 days, but I have a lot of things I want to say about this, maybe some controversial things, and I'm excited to get into this discussion with you because I don't really know what you thought of the movie. So
going blind.
It'll be an interesting review that we'll do together. And is there any other movies coming out that you're real excited for in the summer, or anything you saw that you thought was really good?
No, I mean I just watched Doctor Strange on Netflix because it got put on there recently.
Yeah.
I really enjoy it. Second time watching, really still holds up. I think pretty well for a really good film.
Yeah, I haven't watched it since I saw it in theaters, but now that it's on Netflix, I probably will soon. And that's a good segue into our first topic, because before we do our Wonder Woman review, we're going to do the Netflix rundown, and that is where we break down the movies that are added to Netflix this month. It's the first episode of the month. So, new to Netflix in June, we have Full Metal Jacket, The Sixth Sense, Zodiac, and Young Frankenstein. So, Matt, which of these pops off the most to you? What are you most excited to watch now that it's going to be on Netflix?
Well, I've already seen Full Metal Jacket and Zodiac, so I'm really excited for The Sixth Sense and Young Frankenstein to get to check those out, because I remember when I was young, my dad wanted me to check out like Young Frankenstein and a bunch of other Mel Brooks movies and stuff like that. So, but I also really enjoyed Full Metal Jacket and really enjoyed Zodiac. Robert Downey Jr. and Jake Gyllenhaal doing a really good job in that movie.
Okay, see, I haven't seen Zodiac. Actually, I haven't seen any of these movies. But, yeah, Zodiac, definitely want to watch that because, like, everyone in that movie is so, or just the top of acting right now. And I just watched, what was it, Collateral with Tom Cruise?
Yeah, I still
Mark
need to check that
Ruffalo
out.
is, like, he's like a chameleon in that movie.
Really?
Like, you don't even notice it's him at first. So I'm definitely excited to see his performance in Zodiac. And Full Metal Jacket as well. That's one that I really should have seen by now. And being a Kubrick fan and a war movie fan, I'm sure I'll enjoy that one. And Young Frankenstein, definitely I need to watch, because I love, like, all of Mel Brooks' films. I just haven't seen this one yet. And I definitely really enjoy Gene Wilder in movies like Blazing Saddles.
Sure.
So I'm excited to be able to watch that. As well as The Sixth Sense, which, yes, I've had spoiled for me.
But I feel like it'll still be,
watch it.
like, good. People, like, still tend to enjoy it after, like, rewatching it and looking for, like, hidden clues and stuff like that, so I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, it's a good month for Netflix. A lot of new stuff was added. So that's going to take us into our next segment, which is the movie news. We just run down all of the stories from the past week in movie news. Only one story today. We have a new trailer for Baby Driver. There have been a few trailers now, but what do you think of this new trailer titled Tequila?
Well, I thought it was alright. Nothing super, like, new or interesting. I'm still really intrigued by the movie just because it's Edgar Wright, but I'm already sold on the movie. I didn't need to see this trailer to, like, go watch it, because I'm pretty sure I'm already gonna watch it when it comes out. So nothing new, I guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you right there. Like, we've had enough trailers, and I mean, the good thing is I don't think they're spoiling anything. It's still pretty generic and just giving us minor details. But Edgar Wright, as far as comedies, he's my favorite comedy director.
Okay.
And this is obviously a bit of a different direction, but I'm sure he'll knock it out of the park, as with everything I've seen from him. And I'm really excited for this new actor that I haven't really seen in anything, Ansel Elgort.
Yeah, I mean, he's, like, I know he's in, like, Fault in Our Stars and other stuff, but I haven't gotten to check much of his workout, so I'm intrigued to see his performance.
He looks like he's got, like, a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see that and see him play off guys like Jamie Foxx. So I'm definitely looking forward to Baby Driver. And this trailer just didn't really further my excitement, but just reassured that it's going to be good. I'm pretty confident in that.
Yeah, me too.
So that's going to take us into our Wonder Woman review. We are going to start with the spoiler-free review, so if you haven't seen the movie, still stick around for this part. You can hear our opinions and make a judgment on if you're going to see it or not, and then if you do see the movie, be sure to come back, because after we do our non-spoiler review, later in this video, we will get into the spoilers, and when we do get into spoilers, we'll throw up a spoiler warning on the screen so you know when we're discussing those. But for the non-spoiler review, Matt, I just wanted to ask, first topic, is Wonder Woman the DC movie that we've been waiting for, and how is it an improvement on other DC films?
To answer your first question, I think it is the DC movie like we've all been waiting for. I don't think it's a perfect movie by any means, but I definitely think it's an improvement upon the other movies in like ways. The main reason for me is just like the overall themes of the movie. I think did a really good job portraying like that Richard Donner Superman like esque like just like the themes of the movie. Like I said, I don't want to repeat myself though. Like
I know what you're saying.
just the way like her character is portrayed and like the way she acts and like all of that I think was a really good step forward for DC, and yeah. So what's your opinion on those two questions, I guess?
I think that, is it the DC movie that we've been waiting for? No, it's good,
Yeah.
but it could be a lot better.
It could.
But it is definitely an improvement on other DC
Okay.
movies. Like, we have Batman v Superman, where the conflict is never really set up that well.
Mm-hmm.
There's a very clear plot and conflict in this movie, and there's no plot holes, there's no major issues,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of flaws in the
Mhm.
movie. I do think, yeah, it's definitely an improvement, but I think that we could get bigger and better DC movies in this universe. But that's going to take us into the next topic, which was, how was Gal Gadot? I've been a little critical of her acting in the past, so
Mhm.
what did you think of her in this movie, and did she make you believe that she was the comic book character we know, Wonder Woman?
I don't know. It's complicated. I thought she did a good job. Not like a fantastic, like she's the Wonder Woman that like we're all gonna have and like we're never gonna like know anyone else as Wonder Woman. But like I think she did a good job for like what she was given. I think she did a good job just like with. I'm trying to find a way to put it this. I don't know. I think she did a good enough job for the film, if that makes sense.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
A lot of people are out there saying, "Oh, Gal Gadot's triumphant. You know, this is an incredible performance." I can't agree with that.
No,
I think
it's
she's good enough.
yeah, it's like a good movie, good performance, just like nothing groundbreaking.
Yeah, and like for the most part, I was fine with her performance.
Yeah, me too.
There was one scene where I thought her acting was a little flat, and that was when, like, well, I can't. It's not a big spoiler because it's kind of in the trailers. Like when
Mhm.
she's like leaving and like talking to Hippolyta right before she leaves to go to
Okay.
our world.
Yeah.
I thought she was pretty bad in that scene, but
Okay.
other than that, I thought she did good enough. And you know, I don't know the character of Wonder Woman like that well,
Sure.
because like I do read a lot of DC comics, but I don't read Wonder Woman comics too much. If I have read her, it's in like Justice League books. But
Okay.
my biggest like experience with Wonder Woman is from the Justice League animated series,
Okay.
and I think that, you know, she definitely did good enough to make me believe that she was the character that I know from that show.
Yeah.
At least this is a different period, because in that show she's already sort of been with society for a while, and this is her like being brought into society, and she
Yeah.
doesn't really know the ways of things. We'll get into that a little more in the spoiler discussion, but I thought that she did make me believe that she was Wonder Woman, and if we're going to continue with this character, I'd be okay with that. I think that I can follow her in other movies.
I agree.
So our last topic in the spoiler-free review is, do you think the general audience needs to see this movie? Is this, what do you think this is one of the best summer movies, and something that people should be spending their money on?
I don't know if it's like a must-see like of all time, but for this summer, I would definitely strongly recommend to go see it. I really enjoyed it, really had a good time. It really sucked me into like that time period and just like the story, and I just really like I enjoyed most of the characters, so Yeah, I'd say yes.
Okay.
Generally.
Yeah. See, it's hard to judge because we don't really know what else is.
Yeah, it's gonna come out this
Yeah,
summer.
how those are gonna be. Um, I still don't think we've had a great summer movie
Not yet.
this year, but I mean, yeah, I guess you could spend your summer buck on Wonder Woman for now, for the month of June at least,
Yeah.
and then we'll get some bigger, better ones in July. There's a lot to love in there. Like I said, there's also a lot of flaws, but overall, like you said, the themes are important, and there's a lot of really cool like action sequences in there that we'll get into specifics later, but there's a lot to really enjoy in there, and I think you'll have a good time. One flaw that I'll say that I can say for the spoiler-free section is I think it was a little too long,
Okay.
and I think they did get distracted in the middle of the movie, and they sort of got away from what was really important in the story. But overall, I still really enjoyed it, and I'd say, yeah, if we're given a see it or not see it, go
yeah.
see it. Yeah. So that's the spoiler-free section. If you haven't seen it, now's the time to tune out, and we'll put the spoiler warning up on the screen right now. So, starting from the beginning of the movie, what did you think of Themyscira and the Amazons?
I thought most of them were like pretty like badass, and I thought like the action like training sequences were pretty cool. I watched this with my mom because it was like her favorite superhero growing up, so I went to
Okay.
go see it with her, and she was like leaned over to me and she said like in the old show they all used to have brown hair or whatever, and I was like, okay, mom, well that's, I don't know, it was just kind of a weird statement. I was like, okay, but overall I thought like they did really good performances, and like her aunt and her mom I thought did really good jobs like with their like banter with her and like each other and stuff like that.
Okay. See, I thought I was very impressed with Themyscira. I just thought it looked incredible because, like, this is where the movie opens pretty much. I guess you have that little frame story at the beginning set in present time, but as soon as we see Themyscira, I'm thinking like, all right, we're off to a good start. Like,
Yeah.
this looks incredible,
Uh-huh.
and yeah, a lot of the fighting, like training sequences, were really cool there. One negative with Themyscira, I thought that Hippolyta's accent was like switching on and off, and it was kind of noticeable and distracting. Now Robin Wright, on the other hand, I thought was really good as the leader of like the army or whatever.
Okay.
I was really impressed with her performance. And then I think they did a good job of explaining, you know, why Diana would react to certain things the way she does later in the movie, because I was a little bothered by some of her choices, and I like sometimes you get frustrated with her because I thought like, really, you're that dumb, like to not see something a certain way, but you sort of understand seeing how she was raised.
Yeah.
So I did think that the opening was one of the strongest parts of the movie.
Okay.
And did you have a whole lot else on Themyscira and the Amazons?
There were like a couple cutscenes, like when she was a kid running around and like jumping off stuff, where the CG was a little spotty.
Okay.
But other than that, I thought it was alright.
Okay. And I also thought the storybook thing was really cool.
Oh yeah,
that
like
they did.
like it was moving. And
Yeah,
stuff like
sort
that.
of like from Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
I did really like that effect. So now we haven't talked at all about Chris Pine as Steve Trevor. So what did you think of Steve Trevor?
I really enjoyed his performance. I thought he did a good job, like, with his relationship with Gal Gadot, like just like their their just connection, like their attitude towards each other, just like their, what am I trying to say?
Well, it was impressive because they definitely show that there was like a chemistry there, but they
Yeah,
didn't make
chemistry.
that. They didn't let that take
Yeah,
over.
exactly.
Because they wanted it to be like they didn't want to take the strong female and make her just throw her just into a love story.
Exactly.
But you definitely saw that
It's
was
there, but like it's not forefront and
Yes.
stuff like that. So yeah, I really enjoyed that too. I thought he was really funny. I thought he had a few really good lines. And just like the way he, like his, I just really enjoyed his characterization, like as a spy and like lying to like the his like generals and stuff like that. I thought that was really funny. Yeah. What about you?
I loved him. I thought
Yeah.
he was the best part of the movie.
Okay.
And I think that Chris Pine has really proven himself as a great actor these past few years with Hell or High Water. I thought he was incredible in that, and I think that there's a really good arc for this character. As we see, he ultimately sacrifices himself in the end. I thought that was a really awesome scene. And then I also really love the scene where he like dropped the bombs on
Yeah.
on the German facility at the beginning. And I just thought his character was badass and just really one of my favorite parts of the movie. Now this is where we're going to get into some of the controversy that I was saying.
Okay.
Some people might not like me saying this, but this isn't a statement about the quality of the movie. This is just a fact about the movie. He has pretty much equal screen time with as Gal Gadot,
Okay.
and probably more dialogue. So you might as well have called this movie Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Now that's not me saying that I thought they should have made the movie about Steve Trevor because he's such a better character. I'm saying the movie is as much about Steve Trevor as it is about Wonder Woman.
Okay.
So, what do you think about what I just said?
Well,
Do you agree?
I thought they did a really good job of like making them equals rather than like being all hoity-toity about this being a woman's film.
Yeah.
I thought they did a really good job portraying it as them being equal. I'm not sure if the title should have had his name in it or
I'm not,
anything like
like-
that. No, yeah, I get what you mean.
I'm saying they have equal
Yeah.
screen time.
I thought they did a good job of doing that, and I don't think that it was because I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily negative or like that's a bad thing, I guess. But I think it was. I thought it was good. I don't know. I thought it was a better way of like expressing like whatever they were trying to do with a like woman film being like directed by a woman director, like being equal rather than being like one is better than the other,
Yeah.
even in the opposite way.
Yeah, see, I mean, I didn't have a problem with that. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like, he's really good, and he's one of the biggest
Okay.
focuses of the movie.
Yeah.
And the story really is about both
Both
of
of
them.
them, okay.
What were some of your favorite action sequences in the movie?
I really enjoyed where she goes into no man's land. I thought that was a
Yeah.
really good scene. And then after that, when they get past it and they're in the city and she's like jumping through all the buildings, I think that's probably one of the best scenes in the film. How about you?
Well, definitely the no man's land where she's holding up the shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then also in that next scene in the town, I was really impressed how they used the lasso. Where
Yeah.
she was like whipping guys around. It looked good.
Yeah.
I thought that could have looked like really CG heavy, but I was impressed with that. So those two, I'd say, were some of my favorites. I think that they definitely overdid it with the slow mo.
Okay.
Like a lot of those sequences, it was just like normal pace, then slow mo, then just switching on and off, and it was excessive, I'll say.
I don't know if I've gotten normalized. I didn't notice it a lot. Like, I've noticed it a couple times, but I don't know if I've just, like, been normalized to it, just, like, with so many other movies doing similar things. But I really enjoyed those action films.
Okay.
Or action sequences.
Yeah, I know what you meant. Now, what about the side characters? They have sort of their little band of I don't know, spies, whatever you want to call them. That's their team for infiltrating the Germans. What did you think of the side characters? Did you like them? Did they bother you?
I really enjoyed it, and a little bit more. Like, if some people said that it was almost copying from Captain America: The First Avenger, but I don't know. I kind of liked them more a little bit because they went more in depth to like their characters and like the people, like soldiers during that time period, like the PTSD that the Irish, is it Scottish? I don't know, that character that was experiencing. I thought that was all right. And then the chief, I thought he was pretty good. Nothing like super exponential like about them. I just enjoyed them.
All right.
They weren't like awful.
This is where we're going to disagree because
Okay.
I hated that.
Okay.
I thought that the PTSD dream scene where he's like flipping out, that scene was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
The acting in that scene was awful where he's like just getting up and yelling and like these characters were just stereotypes. I did like the third guy, I don't forget what his name was, not the Scottish guy, not the chief, the other
Yeah.
guy. I liked him,
Uh-huh.
but the scene, like, the chief's like, oh, he's having nightmares or whatever, like, they were just trying really hard to be a good war movie, but the acting in that scene was terrible, and it was just so, like, cliched that I just couldn't get on board with that scene at all. That was one of the scenes where I was like, what am I watching right now?
Okay.
And I also thought that those characters were just stereotypes, like the Scottish drunk marksman and the Indian chief. Like, there wasn't really, it felt like they were trying to make memorable characters, but really they were just making caricatures.
Okay.
That's how I felt about that.
What did you think of the discussion that Wonder Woman and Chief were having while, like, Steve Trevor and the other guy and, like, all the other guys were sleeping?
Remind me, I don't remember exactly what.
I think it was, like, something along the lines of, like, we got our land taken or whatever, and then she was like, by who? And he pointed to Steve Trevor and he was like, there are people or whatever.
Alright, that was alright.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. I don't know. I can see where you're coming from that standpoint, but I still kind of enjoyed it, but not like I said, not exponentially.
Okay. That was probably like one of my least favorite parts of the movie. Now let's get on to my other least favorite part of the movie, which was the villains. So we had those two German villains, Ludendorff, I think, and Dr. Poison. So I'll start this discussion off. I thought they sucked. I thought that they were just typical mustache-twirling Germans, and I don't know what she was doing with her voice, where she was like, oh, I need more time. I don't know what she was doing with her voice the whole time, but it was ridiculous, and that scene where they throw the gas in the room and he throws the gas mask in and she's like, it won't work. And he's like, I know, and like they're laughing. That was what am I watching? I said that to myself in the theater. This is awful. And thank God for Ares later in the film. But before we get to Ares, what did you think of those two villains?
Now past the movie, if I ever watch it again, all the scenes with Ludendorff are just gone. Like it's just like they were trying to like trick you with like, oh, he's Ares, but like he's obviously not now. But like now every scene with him, like that you now see later, is just like pointless. There's no point to it anymore. And I thought Dr. Poison was okay at best, and then like at the end I thought that was the best part where she was where Wonder Woman had the tank over her head and like Ares was talking to her. I thought that was the best part of Dr. Poison, where she didn't like do anything, but she was just like something lower that they were looking at as like evil, but like evil in humanity. I thought that was okay, but then Ludendorff I just did not like. I thought the gas things that he used to get super strong could be a maybe allusion to maybe something that they might use further in DC, like is it Venom that Poison uses, or Venom that Bane uses?
Yeah,
it could be something like that, or maybe, I don't know, but I thought that was an okay thing. Maybe possibly something that they could bring back that would be cool, but other than that, yes, I agree. I did not like the villains that much at all.
Yeah. Honestly, like, they were almost as bad as Enchantress. Now let's talk about Ares, because I thought Ares was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And, you know, there were rumors, like, a couple months ago that David Thewlis was Ares. I didn't ever believe that or buy into it, but he was Ares. And
yeah.
I thought he was really good, and I liked how they explained his motivations. I bought into that, and I liked how he, like, tempted Wonder Woman a little bit, and then the fight was just incredible, and his, like, I mean, you could call it a costume. He just made it out of like that metal,
scrap metal.
But it still looked badass. Looked like the comic book character. So I thought that fight sequence was really cool, and just David Thewlis was, I think, a really good choice that I wouldn't have ever thought of. But he was really badass as Ares. What do you think?
Okay, so I really enjoyed the part where he was tempting her, and he was like that bad guy that she couldn't get through because of the glass and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that scene, and then when he got, like, super big and, like, the godlike, I liked it less, but I still really liked it. And then when he took his mask off as that character, it was a little spotty for me. I didn't enjoy it as much, but I don't know, because his face doesn't really match the Titan armor that he was wearing or whatever. But I still really enjoyed him as, like, an evil that, like, she had to defeat. I really liked the God Killer, like, switch out or fake out or whatever.
Where he's like, yeah, it's you.
Yeah, it was a little
that was cool.
I kind of predicted it. I don't know if that's like means it's predictable, or I just thought, wait, what if she's like actually the God Killer instead of the sword, but whatever. And I didn't even think of it, but she has a different sword in Dawn of Justice, so I guess I should have thought of that before, because I saw that later on, but that's pretty cool. I really enjoyed that, too. But overall, I really enjoyed that, like, last action scene, and she gets, like, super badass and stuff like that.
Yeah, and they needed that, because when she killed Ludendorff, you're like, alright, where's the real Ares now?
Yeah.
Thank God that guy's out of the way now. And also, the other villains only had about 20 minutes of screen time, so that was a part of it that we got past, and once we got to the real villain, it was a payoff. I don't know that we still needed that stuff, but it paid off. So they tried to put a lot of humor into the film. What did you think of the humor with, like, her not really knowing the ways of society, and basically a lot of the second act of the movie? What did you think of that?
It was okay. I mean, some of it was okay. Not like, I don't think was it Etta Candy? I don't think she was that good, like, great. She had like one or two okay lines, but then, like, her trying on different clothes was okay.
Why is that in the movie? You take that out, it's 10 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
And that scene was completely unnecessary.
I like the line where she's like, yeah, if you put that on her and she's still, like, the most beautiful girl in the world, and you're just like, I thought that line was pretty funny, but most other stuff in the second act, it was okay. It wasn't the best writing, but it was okay.
I felt like I was taking a break from watching Wonder Woman to watch Elf, but not as funny. And, like, they've done that before in, like, Thor, you know, but Thor worked better, I think, when he, like, slams the mug down and says more, and says, like, walks in, I need a horse, like, that doesn't, like, really distract too much from the plot of Thor, and Thor's not too long. I thought that if you cut out a lot of that stuff in the middle, then you could shorten the movie, and also that humor just it was distracting. It's like, why are they taking time to try on clothes when she just said, like, it's time to go into the war, and she stops to, like, see a baby, like, you just said, like, we're getting to the war, like, why are you getting so distracted from this stuff? Like, I didn't like that, a lot of the humor I didn't think worked. So, what are some negatives that we have not touched on yet, if you had anything else that we haven't touched on?
I think the main were, for me, or some of the so I mentioned the CG at the beginning at the mascara, some of it was okay, spotty. Some of the CG at the end in the fight scene was a little spotty too, but, like, I feel like that can be overlooked. It's not, like, awful, like, 90s bad CGI, but it was just, like, it was okay. It wasn't the best CG that I've ever seen, but it was, I guess, passable, but, yeah. How about you?
I think we pretty much covered, like, most of my negatives, which is, like, the side characters, the villains, just the distraction in the middle of the movie with a lot of that humor. That's most of my negatives. It's a flawed movie, but it's still an enjoyable and good summer action movie, I'd say. So now rank the DC movies, like the 4 that have come out in the past few years: Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman. Give your new rankings of those, and then give us your score out of 10 and final thoughts.
I'd have to go Wonder. I think this is the best DC movie that they've put out so far, and then I'd have to. It's hard because I think Man of Steel and Dawn of Justice are really close, but I think I might have to go Dawn of Justice, then Man of Steel, then Suicide Squad.
Okay. I think actually Man of Steel is still first by me. For me. It's close between Man of Steel and Wonder Woman, and then down a tier, Batman v Superman, and then in the shitter is Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, way down to the floorboard is, like, Suicide Squad, but yeah.
So what's your score?
I'd say maybe like an 8 to 8.5.
Really? Okay. See, I can't get it that high. I just think there's too many issues. I wanted to give it like an 8 or like a 7.7 because of, like, the 77 TV series. But as I've had with the past 2 reviews, I have to give it a 7. It's just a decent movie with some issues. So, still waiting on the great summer movie.
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah, maybe. Or Apes.
Apes is definitely plus Dunkirk.
Yeah. So that's our review, but one more discussion topic. What do we want to see next for Wonder Woman? Do we want to see like a Wonder Woman 2, and what time period do we want to see that take place in if it happens, or do we not want to see Wonder Woman 2?
I have no idea. Honestly, I don't know. This is hard to think about because if you go modern day, it's so similar to like the Captain America trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she's like already pretty badass at fighting, I don't know. It's hard. That's pretty hard. How about you go first? I'll think about it for a second.
Well, I don't want to see another war movie because a lot of those aspects didn't work for me. Like I said, with the side characters, and I think that if they like went to like Cold War era, I know I said war movie, but not like a war movie, but like a spy movie.
Okay.
I think could be cool. That's really the only thing that I would want to see because like you said, you just get too repetitive if we
I agree.
just take her into modern day now. So that's really the only idea I had.
Okay.
Like I've heard rumors of World War II, but like that would just be too similar to this movie.
Yeah. What do you think about Steve Trevor possibly coming back, like at all, like as a?
I don't see how that could. I mean,
how about
Chris
Pine coming back as a different character?
Why would they do that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because, like you said, he was like a really good actor, but then he's dead. Like, they just kind of
If he comes back as Hal Jordan.
I was thinking about that. Like, what if he, like, was saved by Green Lantern on Earth during World War I? Possibly.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a little off.
Yeah, it would be like, that's kind of cheap, but he's a really good actor, so they could probably use him.
Yeah.
They don't have Green Lantern yet, so.
They do not, and that's what they need, really. Green Lantern. So that's our review and discussion of Wonder Woman. Matt gave it an 8 or 8.5.
Yeah, like an 8.3. So
8.3. I gave it a 7. So check it out. I'd say it's worth seeing. Thanks for watching. Next week we are gonna take the week off. I'm gonna be out of town, but in 2 weeks we'll come back and have a Tom Cruise themed episode. So be sure to check us out in 2 weeks. Thank you, Matt, for coming out today.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Always glad to have you, and I enjoyed discussing Wonder Woman. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks.